Battlefield 5 is now part of the PS Plus game in 2025, and it's tempting to jump in. But before downloading it, you might want to know, does it still hold up today? First off, the biggest reason to check out this game in 2025 is the gameplay. This is where Battlefield 5 shines the most. The gunplay feels snappy and weighty. Whether you're using an SMG in tight urban combat or a sniper rifle in long-range encounters, every weapon feels responsive. Recoil patterns are readable, and mastering them is part of the challenge. The movement system is also highly fluid. You can dive, vault, and slide with ease, giving you a smooth way to navigate the environment while under pressure. Unlike older Battlefield titles, the animations are more natural, and moving between cover or flanking enemies feels dynamic and satisfying. In short, if you care about how a shooter feels to play, you'll find this one very solid even years after its launch. Battlefield games have always been about spectacle, and BF5 still delivers. Visually, it holds up surprisingly well. The lighting effects, destruction physics, and weather systems on maps like Narvik or Twisted Steel still look beautiful. Even though this game came out back in 2018, the art direction and level of detail don't feel outdated in 2025. Then there's the audio. Easily one of the best parts. You'll hear bullets cracking past your ears, tanks rumbling from far away, and explosions that feel deep and thunderous. The immersive sound design makes every match feel intense, even when you're just running across the field. If you're wearing a headset, prepare for goosebumps. The game offers a mix of large-scale battles and more intimate skirmishes. You've got modes like Conquest, Grand Operations, Breakthrough, and even Team Deathmatch if you want something fast-paced. But not all maps are winners. Some feel cramped and one-sided, while others like Panzerstorm can feel too wide open, favoring vehicles over infantry. That said, the destructible environments add a lot to the experience. You can blow holes in buildings, take out enemy cover, and build fortifications for defense. This brings an evolving element to every match. You're not just playing the same layout each time. Vehicles are a staple of Battlefield, and BF5 gives you tanks, planes, and transport vehicles. Tanks are deadly, but can be countered with teamwork. Planes, on the other hand, are a mixed bag. Some players love the aerial dogfights, while others find them too dominant, especially when the team isn't coordinated enough to counter them. Vehicle balancing is decent, but not perfect. If you're jumping in solo without friends or squad coordination, prepare to be occasionally steamrolled by a well-supported tank or a skilled pilot. Still, when it all clicks, when infantry, tanks, and air units are all in sync, it delivers that classic Battlefield chaos that's hard to find anywhere else. Battlefield 5 includes war stories, short single-player missions that explore different aspects of World War II. They aren't very long, and they're not the main focus of the game, but they do offer a solid introduction to the mechanics. Each war story tells a personal tale from different regions and characters in the war. Think of them more like playable short films than a full campaign. If you're only here for solo gameplay, it might feel limited, but if you're using it as a warm-up for multiplayer, it's a decent start. Here's where things get tricky. Official support for BF5 ended a while ago, so you won't see new content, patches, or seasonal updates. But despite that, the community has kept the game alive, especially with PS Plus bringing in new players. Servers are still active, especially on Conquest and Breakthrough. Custom servers and community events also help keep things interesting. You won't find a live battle pass or new maps, but you will find players who know the game inside and out. If you're new, be ready for a bit of a learning curve. Veterans dominate the battlefield in certain modes. Even though BF5 wasn't designed for the PS5, it plays really well on the new hardware. Load times are fast, and the frame rate is more stable compared to PS4. You won't get full next-gen features like haptics or 120 FPS modes, but the game is very playable and looks great on a 4K TV. You're basically getting a high-quality World War II shooter that performs better than it ever did on last-gen consoles, at no extra cost if you've got PS Plus. Once Battlefield 2042 launched, all major content development for Battlefield 5 ended. That means no new maps, no new weapons, no seasonal events or battle passes, and no bug fixes or balancing patches. So what you get today is a frozen version of the game. While it's still playable and relatively stable, it can feel stale if you're used to games like Call of Duty Warzone or Apex Legends, which constantly get updated. You'll be playing the same content over and over, which can lead to burnout after a while. Not all maps in Battlefield 5 are created equally. Some are too large and open, giving vehicle players a huge advantage. Others are choke point heavy, leading to frustrating one-sided matches. And certain maps like Panzerstorm or Aerodrome often get called out for being unbalanced, especially in solo queue. Also, if you're not playing with a coordinated squad, it's easy to feel like you're just a target dummy running from spawn to objective without making much impact. Air vehicles, particularly bombers and fighter planes, can absolutely dominate a match when in the hands of skilled players. And the problem? Many players don't equip anti-air gear or don't bother shooting at planes. The game doesn't teach you well how to counter them unless you look it up yourself. This makes some matches feel like you're just stuck on the ground getting bombed over and over, without much you can do. And unless you're good at flying planes yourself, the air war will feel out of reach. Battlefield has always been about team play, but playing solo in public lobbies can be rough. Teammates often ignore objectives or revive systems, and squads sometimes feel disconnected, especially without voice chat or pinging tools as advanced as those in modern games like Warzone or Fortnite. You can definitely still do well, but without good squad communication, you'll often lose matches even when you're playing your role perfectly. The user interface in Battlefield 5 is one of its weak points, especially in 2025 when modern shooters have refined UI to be super clean and fast. Menu navigation can be slow, the loadout system is confusing at first, and class customization lacks modern quality of life features. If you're new, expect to spend time figuring out where things are and how to set up your favorite weapons. So, is Battlefield 5 worth playing on PS Plus in 2025? If you enjoy large-scale multiplayer battles, satisfying gunplay, and immersive audio-visual design, then yes, absolutely. The fact that it's free with PS Plus only sweetens the deal. But go in knowing what to expect. No new content, some rough edges, and an experience that relies heavily on teamwork and map knowledge. It's not perfect, but it's still fun. And in a time when many modern shooters are bloated with microtransactions or battle passes, Battlefield 5 offers a complete, old-school package that holds up surprisingly well. That wraps up this Battlefield 5 review in 2025. If you're downloading it on PS Plus, get ready for a mix of chaos, strategy, and some of the most intense firefights you can have in a shooter. But if a trip back to the Great War sounds more your speed, check out the Battlefield 1 review next. Just click the link on screen to jump right into the trenches. Thanks for watching, and catch you in the next battle.